Hey people, you're back with Bunky. Let's play a little bit of Battlefield 3 on Mass Effect 3. I'm going to show you this soldier now. I'm going to show you my build. I don't rock Adrenaline Rush on this guy. I'll get into the reasons why in the gameplay. Stick around. But this is what I do with Carnage. Same thing I do with the Croken Soldier, okay guys? I like to go with damage, recharge speed, and more damage, okay? You can go with the armor damage, because Carnage actually does a lot of armor damage when you spec for it, but I do just prefer to hurt everything. You know, just hurt everything a bit more. I think like you'll do something like 400 more points of damage to armor if you respect for the armor damage, but then you kind of lose out on like 200 points to 300 points of damage to every other kind of health bar in the game. So it's a little give, it's a little take. If you're playing this on Platinum, you probably definitely want the armor damage. Same with the Krogan as well. Same with anybody who's got Carnage. You probably will want armor damage if you play Platinum exclusively. But yeah, that's Carnage. The Frag Grenades are going to be our next bit of bread and butter. Same again as the other soldiers. Okay, I do like to go with damage. I do like to go with bleed damage. Some nice damage over time there. It's really good damage over time. But for the final evolution, I can actually go with the armor damage this time, okay? But don't worry, we've got our own little method for taking down shields. So let's just focus on really hurting the bosses with this. Alliance training. This is going to be a caster soldier, okay? So I do recommend you go with damage and capacity, power damage, and then get yourself some weapon damage. And then fitness, really take all the health and shields, guys. Take them all. We've only got 825 health and shields. We are squishy as hell. Be ready for that. Adrenaline Rush could be used to, give yourself some extra health. Like a sort of makeshift sort of stim pack. But the problem with that is as soon as you take Adrenaline Rush, you will not be able to use Carnage. And that's going to be very important in this build. Also, if you did take Adrenaline Rush, I would actually, to make sure you actually get the health you need to survive with it, I'd actually recommend that you take Hardening for the first evolution. Still keep the melee damage because you want the duration as low as possible so that you get to use Carnage as soon as possible. But then you'd actually want Shield Boost to really benefit from having Adrenaline Rush at all. But you take that evolution and then you can't have Power Use, which would actually be incredibly effective. So you could fully spec it out and get the Hardening, but that's really not going to save your ass. What saves your ass is Shield Boost. And it's a shame because you want power use, you really do, to be honest. There's going to be a lot of great crowd control. You could take the Adrenaline Rush thing and only have 3 points of fitness and lose the weapon damage in Alliance training, okay? That's something you could do. It's just so you got a method of slipping out of a bad situation, but offensively, it sort of cuts you dead. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why I don't like it on this guy. Or at least this build for this guy. I'm going to be sticking on the Scorpion for the character. I'm putting on the Heavy Barrel because it doesn't do any piercing, so let's just hurt with it. And then obviously I'm going with the Pistol Power Magnifier for another 30% increase to power damage. The equipment. I'm going to be rocking Disruptor rounds for this guy. Yeah. Put on Disruptor 4 there. That's going to be really nice for setting up some tech bursts and stuff. You're going to see that in the gameplay. And then I'm going to go with the Power Amplifier. I think I might have had Power Amplifier 4 for the gameplay. Maybe 3 though. 3's good, okay? 4 if you've got it, but 3 is good. There's still another 30% increase there, so we're going to hurt, but it does leave us really squishy, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Grenade capacity is going to be absolutely fundamental for your gear option, okay? We're going to be throwing out a lot of grenades. A bit spammy, but it's good spam. And then the weapon bonus is going to be a pistol rail lamp, of course. Right, let's jump into the gameplay, show you what I came up with. Alright, so we're starting up here with Dominoes and Explicit Reality and some pugs with us. But let's just say we're going to lose Dom for this gameplay. Explicit's playing the Paladin, so he's going to bring in his own mix of tech and fire explosions to add to mine, and I'm going to be doing plenty, don't you worry. Okay then. Yeah, I'm slipping you another soldier for this set. The Battlefield 3 soldier was another character I was requested to do by one of the subs here. I was going to do this at the end as a little bonus. That was the plan, but I got something interesting here, fun little build for you now. But I'll be honest, I'm stalling, guys. To be honest, I am absolutely stalling here. That's the reason why you don't have a Sentinel video. I want to get my hands on the Venom shotgun to make the Warlord, the Krogan Warlord rock, or at least I hope it will. Obviously, the store has other plans, though. It's the only gun I don't own now. I've got at least level 1 of every gun, apart from the Venom, which I don't have, which is annoying me, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to get too much into the reason why I want that gun for the Warlord. If it works, I'll show you. If it doesn't, I'd rather no one know my shame. I can only speculate at this point, but I've watched a vid on the Venom shotgun. I think it's got some great potential. I really do, for the character. But that's the possible future. Let's take a look at the Battlefield 3 soldier. Now, the BF3 soldier is exactly what it looks like, okay? It's a slightly altered base human soldier. Radioactive kidney aside, the only difference between him and the original is that he has carnage instead of concussive shot. So, you can play him exactly like a base human soldier. Adrenaline rush is amazing. A third opportunity to rock it is not a bad thing. But it's unnecessary. There's only so many things you can do with Adrenaline Rush. I recommend you focus more on what makes him unique. Because you can. You can now. Believe me, there was nothing unique about him originally. He's always been available. He used to be a promotional character with, of course, Battlefield 3. I think if you had a saved game of BF3 on your hard drive, you'd have this character to select in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. But like all promotional items, it eventually got released into the store for everybody. I think this was especially nice for the PlayStation users because I think they couldn't get him the original way. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I think that's something I read before. But, that's irrelevant. Right now, fire explosions are much more accessible due to a patch we got, so you don't actually have to kill the enemy with a detonating power. An enemy that's on fire with a detonating power to get the fire explosion, you can literally just prime them and bomb them like you would a biotic explosion or tech burst. which is awesome, because that's what Carnage does. Carnage, that makes Carnage so much better, because Carnage now detonates tech bursts and primes and sets up fire explosions, which is something we can actually do simultaneously with this build, which I hope you spotted by now. Yeah, hope you've seen that on the kill feed. There's been plenty of it. Then we've also got the Frag Grenades, okay, another detonator of tech explosions. So we can do 2 explosions right after the other and wreck up the place like this, which is very cool. I'll clue you in to what's going on if you haven't spotted it. Obviously, I got the Scorpion on him. I'm going around him shooting at the enemy, and they all get primed by the Disruptor ammo for a tech burst. I'll then fire in the Carnage. That will detonate a tech burst. That's going to just shock up all the enemies, strip all their shields, good stuff that way. And then they're going to be on fire, because the tech burst will take down their shields, and then they're just going to be writhing in flames then from Carnage. And then I can follow that up instantly then with a Frag Grenade, which is going to just... It's going to hit the armor hard. If it's an organic target, it's going to start bleeding to death. And then I'm so lucky I thought I was going to get chomped. But then it also detonates the fire explosion, okay? And then you've got the fire explosions damage over time on top of the bleed damage from the Frag Grenade, and you're obviously hitting them hard. You wreck armor with that little attack there, and you just go around rinse and repeating that to every group of enemies. This, as you can see, I'm going up against the collectors here. This build destroys every single faction really, really efficiently. What we're doing, we're stripping shields of tech bursts and wrecking armor with fire explosions, which is not a shabby way to operate, okay? It really isn't. But, let me give you some of the weapon choices and stuff that really makes this work, okay? I'm going with the Scorpion, okay? This locks up the enemy, loads of crowd control with the Scorpion. We are so squishy, guys. You really want to keep the enemy off you as much as you can. You get shot and you die with this guy, okay? It's only 825 health and shields. It's not hard for the enemy to strip those, especially when you're dealing with something like the Collectors, okay? Or the Geth. But I like this. I like the Scorpion because you can just spit it into a group. You can plant it on their faces and get 2 staggers, or you can just plant it all around their feet and just keep them locked down with turning the shots into a proxy trap. But it is better to get the stick, to be honest, guys, because that's what will set up the tech burst. And it also the disruptor ammo itself stuns enemies. So you know you stick them, you stagger them, you stun them. Yeah, you fire in, you get the tech burst, you stun them some more. You strip their shields, then they start writhing in pain from fire, and then you throw the frag grenade. They explode, they fly all over the place. The fire explosion flows, they keep writhing in pain. You just basically the enemy cannot return fire because they're just constantly being flicked about the place. It's a really nice little combination. But you know what is essentially important is that you have something that's really effective for setting up explosions. So other pistols like the Talon are really good because that's got a multiplier to shields and barriers. You're going to get that down quick, get your disruptor ammo in effect nice and quickly. Eagle, another little pistol. It is a caster weapon. It does got a nice little rate of fire. So rate of fire is good for priming. So that's why the SMGs will work, like the Hurricane, the Tempest, Collector SMG. They're all going to just prime the targets with the disruptor ammo really nicely. You've also got the power magnifier for both those two kinds of weapons, so you can obviously make your frag grenades and your carnage hit a lot harder, which is all good. At a push, you can rock something like the Wraith and the Piranha, get a bit more weapon damage out. But you do want to be light because you do want to be like spamming carnage. Okay, guys. It's like I stressed earlier. It's all about just keeping the enemy in lockdown. You cannot afford to have any kind of return fire, and if you're just sort of gunning, the enemy will return fire. But you know, scorpions and stuff locks them down, which is nice. The ammo I do recommend is Disruptor, guys. Okay, all elemental ammo works for this build, but Disruptor is great because obviously we're getting 2 explosions off, like, right after the other, and we're stripping shields, and we're already wrecking armor. You know, we got the fire explosions already in the build. Incendiary will work. You can go with Incendiary and get 2 fire explosions, although you need to know there is a cooldown between explosions. You just can't keep just going explosion, explosion, explosions. If it's the same kind of explosion, at least that's what I've experienced anyway. So, you know, it would be slightly less efficient, okay? You're not going to get tech explosions off as frequently as I am now with a Disruptor. And, you know, you can go with Cryo as well, but I'm not lie to you, Cryo ammo is crap for setting up Cryo explosions. It really is, in all honesty. The first thing, what I originally thought would be the best would be Cryo ammo, and just go and, you know, get the Cryo explosion to debuff all the enemy, and then the fire explosion would completely decimate them. But even with the Scorpion, I was surprised. I don't think I've ever tried Cryo rounds on the Scorpion before, because the Scorpion is amazing for priming targets, and I got so few Cryo explosions off. I was just shocked. I was so shocked. Cryo ammo really is crap for setting up cryo explosions, because you do need to freeze the target solid to do it. So, you know, if you shoot a target that has no protection with the Scorpion with cryo ammo, you will absolutely freeze them solid. But the problem is how many targets have no protection, especially in the higher difficulties. Okay, so it doesn't come across as reliable. At least with Disruptor, you know, you are actually doing extra shield damage, so they get stunned. They really do. For the armor bonus, so the power amplifier, guys, just so I can really churn out some really nice damage. I'm quite confident in the amount of crowd control I've got in the build, so I don't go with the cyclonic, although that's the other option I would recommend, guys. If you haven't got the power, I'm going with the cyclonic modulator, because you are so squishy. I mean, if other survivability option would be the shield power cells, okay, because we are keeping the enemy in lockdown. You know, you're not going to get return fire, so your shields are going to be able to regenerate, and you know, if you can speed up that process, you know, you're going to survive a lot better. And then, you know, there's the power efficiency as well, so that you can spam carnage and get the lockdown, you know, in action. Absolutely get it out there. But I wouldn't actually recommend you work a weapon that requires you to use a power of efficiency. Okay, if your power recharge is really getting kind of sluggish, you use the wrong weapon, as far as I'm concerned. But you know, it's all about, because you know, you're in that situation, just replacing power damage with weapon damage, which is never a bad thing. That's something you can always do. But you know, this is what I'm showing you here is a power build. Okay, it's a caster soldier. Obviously, the grenade capacity for the gear bonus is pretty essential. I mean, literally with every group, in fact, multiple times with every group, I'm going to be throwing out a frag grenade just so I can get the fire explosions off all of the time. And you know, so you do just eat through your grenades really quickly. It's good that you can carry as many of those as you can. I mean, if you did go with like one of the shotgun options, the shock trooper upgrade would be a nice one, or even the assault loadout. Okay, so you get the extra weapon damage, but you get more thermal clip packs, so you know, you can get your grenades back that way. Sorry, I'm still full up with a cold, guys. Mental focuser, it would be another gear you could go for if you wanted to do more power damage, because remember, we are, unlike with the Volus, we actually generally are a combat class now, okay, so it is just combat powers we have here. You do want to be, if you want more power damage, that's what you need to rock. You're wasting your time with like tech or biotic. I shouldn't even have to tell you, it's definitely not biotic, but it isn't tech either, guys, okay. These are combat powers, Carnage and Frag Grenades. And then you've got your shield options, okay? Like I said, with your Cyclonics, you know, you are squishy, so if you wanted to just get more survivability, rock all the, you know, anything that gives you extra shields or shield recharging gears are going to be quite helpful for you to help you stay out there. So, you know, as you can see, it's really good, guys. And what I've got here is like a makeshift quarry male engineer, if you've seen that video, because that guy does just wrecks as well. And we're kind of doing a very similar thing. He can do that too. Obviously, he can go, if you went incinerate first, then you can throw out the arc grenade, get the fire explosion, that primes the targets for a tech burst, and then you can obviously throw incinerate out again and actually get the tech explosion. So it'll be in reverse, but it's the same thing then. You can just sort of follow up one tech explosion with the other, like, instantly. But it's actually, because this one's more makeshift, the Quarry Male Engineer can do that through his powers, which is why he's so amazing. It really does not matter what gun you put on him, in all perfect honesty. It only just makes him better. Whereas this one, I've sort of crafted a male Quarry Engineer with what the game offers, to be honest. And, you know, it's that sort of makeshift aspect of him that gives him a more unique feel. He does not play like the Quarry Male Engineer, despite the fact that we're kind of getting at the same damage here, which is, you know, it's pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. I mean, like the Quarian, it's extremely effective, guys. I hope you can see where really do a lot of damage to a lot of enemies a lot of the time, okay? It's a really effective build. You put out a lot of damage and you take everything down. It's fun too, guys. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, who doesn't like fireworks? They're going off all the time. There's lots of pretty colours about the place. We got our sparks are blue and we got our red fire explosions. It's good stuff. I was pleasantly surprised. I remember the request. Somebody was asking me, so what would you recommend for the Battlefield 3 soldier? And I told him basically what I told you at the start in the build section of the video, guys. You know, play him like a base human soldier, or you could work Carnage and get some fire explosions off. And then it triggered in my head, then it's going, mind you, Carnage detonates too, as well as primes. So you could get 2 tech explosions off with the right ammunition. And then from that, it's like, yeah, let me give that a go. Let me have a look at that. And this is it, guys. This is me giving it a go. I absolutely love this. This is a lot of fun, actually. I do like this character. I was pleasantly surprised just by how effective it is. I mean, I've had games where I've just scored, like, I literally, this is no word of a lie, I scored 3 kill streaks within 4 waves. The first 4 waves of the game. It's like wave 1, found a group of enemy, kill streak. Wave 2, found another group of enemies, another kill streak. There was the objective round. And in wave 4, kicked off, found another group of enemies. There was the other kill streak, not a single rocket used. A real kill streak, an honourable kill streak. Okay, you're doing it with your powers and powers alone. Yeah, he's very, very effective. Churns out a lot of damage. And let's just look at the kill feed. That's what it is. That's when you're running around with this guy. It is just Scorpion, Tech Burst, Fire Explosion, Frag Grenade. You just really do smash up the enemy. It's good stuff. I mean, especially, and this is a great guy to sort of frontline with a tech team. Obviously, I've got a paladin with me who is basically a engineer. He's got no fucking biotic powers, that's for sure. So, you know, me and Explicit are just really just setting off each other's explosions, priming each other's explosions. Together, we just empty a room. So he's really good with a tech team, actually, surprisingly. But, you know, that's, I say surprisingly, a lot of soldiers are actually good with tech teams nowadays, just because of the accessibility of fire and cryo explosions, which essentially everybody can do now. I mean, it's very, very easy to just sort of turn like every single character in the game into a fire explosion character. It really is. It absolutely is. You put incendiary rounds on anyone, and you're probably going to have some way of getting a fire explosion off, and just make that your focus, because fire explosions are that good. But you know, it's nice to do something a little different. And this is just this is basically using tech explosions to deal with everything. You know, we got to take down shields, we got to take down armor, and we do it through explosions, and it's pretty funky. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, the Adrenaline Rush is awesome. It is absolutely amazing. If you wanted to just do another sort of base human soldier thing with him, go ahead. Absolutely go ahead. Probably just spec out a Carnage. And just, you know, go with the usual culprits like the Claymore and all that kind of good stuff. That's all you need to do. But the thing is now, he's another character, so it's nice to be able to do something else with him. You have to forgive me. I'm reaching for my snot rag. The weather in Britain is miserable, like, all of the time, and I've gone through like an entire winter without getting sick, and now we're finally getting a little bit of sun, and I get a cold. Go figure. I think the reality is that we all get excited when we see the sun, and we run out even though it's not actually warm, it's just bright, in t-shirts and stuff, and then we get ill. Need a holiday. I really do. It rains all the time down here. I'm surprised we haven't evolved into having like webbed hands and feet. But I got Mass Effect to keep me warm. No, but I'm really sort of pushing on with the guides now, actually. As you can see, I'm sort of, there's one Sentinel left for me to do, and I'm sort of stalling on him. We're showing you, churning through all the soldiers now, because now that I'm rocking the Battlefield 3 soldier this way, the soldier class is actually a class where I play every single character available. So, you know, I this is a nice opportunity for me to really get through the soldiers, so that at the end of the series just isn't soldier video after soldier video after soldier video, because that's what I've been trying to do for the whole series, is sort of mix it up so that you don't just see me showing you one class over and over again. I mix it up a bit. You get your adepts, you get your soldiers, then you get your engineers. I go down the list for you, and just move along the characters, you know, from left to right. But you know, we're coming to the end now, guys. I've got the Reckoning, the Sentinels left to do, and once that's done, that's the Sentinels finished. There's in this reel, I'm going to be showing you the last Retaliation Infiltrator, so I'm only going to have the Reckoning Infiltrator left there as well. So yeah, we're going to be, I will be finished with this video guide series soon. I hope you've all enjoyed it, found it useful. I hope I open your minds as well. There's it's very easy to just sort of do, just take the same guns and do the same thing with the same characters over and over again, because you can always guarantee yourself success that way. But Mass Effect is about taking doing different things to get different experiences, and this is why I wanted to just sort of bring to everybody in the multiplayer. Okay, I try to show you lots of different ways to do well in the game with all the different characters and stuff. So I hope that's come across. I mean, I'll never recommend you gimp yourself for the sake of novelty, because that's just stupid. It's a team game, so you don't want to be a gimp. You don't. You want to be able to pull your weight so that you aren't just a liability to the team and everything. So everything I show you is still effective and strong, even my crazy Volus Adept build. But yeah, you hope you guys saw because this is obviously Glacier again, we're up against the collectors, but if you saw the Volus Engineer video previous on this same map, I hope you can see that the Volus aren't something to be laughed. Well, they are something to be laughed at, they're fucking hilarious, but damage-wise, okay, some of the Voluses can put out some lovely damage. I was also pleasantly surprised with the Sentinel, okay? Well, not surprised, it is surprised, but it's surprised at something else. I always kind of figured that he'd be fine, just kind of boring and kind of lifeless, but there's actually a lot more character to the Volus Sentinel as well. He's good. In fact, I got the Vanguard on the way too. This is going to be in this set of characters that will be the next Vanguard, and he's good as well. He's got great potential. So all the Volus are good. Showing you how the way to sort of rock their own little characters, though, rather than just sticking a gun on them and making them the gun. But yeah, that's the game. And that's the Battlefield 3 soldier, okay guys? I know there's some other characters I've skipped, and, you know, you guys can go ahead and request that I play them, and if there is something I can do generally unique with, I will. But it's like, I'll tell you now, one other request I've had is like for the Vulture Hunter. There is nothing unique about the Vulture Hunter. He is just a weaker Batarian Sentinel. I cannot fathom any other way to play him other than just submissive net everything, tech burst with incinerate and shoot. It's the same deal, guys. So, you know, if you prefer Fortress to Batarians, go for the Vulture Hunter. He's not a bad character, he's just the same character, unfortunately. But yeah, that's it, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I do love the support, and I will catch you in the next video.